The future is already here, but access to it is not equal. Technology has transformed what is possible. It has changed how we create, connect, and build. Yet too many people are still locked out by cost, complexity, and opportunity. We believe technology should open doors. Money should never decide who gets to build. That is why we created Datumra, backed by our commitment to give 10% for good. Tonight, for the very first time, we unveil Datumra OS, the minimum awesome system for your business. And we launch VC26, the Datumra Venture Competition. Free to enter, open to ambitious builders everywhere, and our most ambitious initiative so far. One platform, one competition, one belief. The future should be open to more people. Welcome to Datumra OS. Welcome to VC26. The world premiere begins now.
Welcome everybody. This is the start of what's hopefully going to be a very exciting event today. I'll ask a question to start. Are we sitting comfortably? Then let's get this show on the road. Welcome to the Datumra OS and VC26 launch event. We're covering two very big launches today. The first is Datumra OS. The second is VC26, the Datumra Venture Competition. But before we get started, that's me on the screen and that is me here. I'm Chris Ross. Who is Chris Ross? There's a lot of text on that screen, but that is my bio. Won't expect you to read all that, but essentially I am the founder of Datumra. I am a software developer turned storyteller turned network builder. My journey has gone through this mix of weird worlds where I started in software, went into law, went into a corporate headhunting role, then went into startups, and most recently became a bootstrapped founder of Datumra. Fun fact about me, I was the youngest person in my region to complete an advanced computer programming diploma, and that started a thread throughout my entire career and life. So I always seem to be drawn and navigated to the latest technologies. I've been involved with a lot of the top corporates in the world, and I've developed quite a big black book of executives within my network. And that is me. Something I'm very passionate about is giving back. So the 10% waterfall is something that I adopted around 10 years ago, ironically, where 10% of everything that I earned, I put into a bank account. And I use this to go to charities, to grants, to fund people, acts of kindness, just pretty much anything to make the world a better place. And when I started Datumra 10 months ago, I decided that this was something we were building in from the very start. So the 10% waterfall was adopted into Datumra. We're using this to give support to founders getting started. We're using this to actually bring useful AI technologies into the reach of people that it wasn't accessible to previously. We're helping first-time builders get the confidence to get started. And we're also breaking down that barriers of people taking that first step and getting the opportunity to get started. We really think it's important that real value should come in beyond what we're doing, and this is why we've adopted this 10% principle. That's another reason why we're launching VC26 today. This is our biggest and most ambitious part that we're actually funding through this grant, and we're giving back to the founders getting started. Also, I need to give a shout out to the general sponsors and partners that are also making this possible. You know who you are. I thank you so much for your contributions. Who's Coral Rose? That's a very good question. Coral, introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, I am Coral Rose, co-founder of Datumra, and it is wonderful to have you joining us from all around the world. My passion has always been about making opportunity more accessible. Throughout my life and career, I have seen the barriers people can face because of age, gender, disability, sexuality, background, or personal circumstances. I have seen talented people overlooked, important ideas underestimated, and individuals made to feel that certain opportunities were never meant for them. I believe that people deserve the chance to be heard, supported, and recognised. Recognised for what they are building, for the courage it takes to build it, and for the impact their work can have on people, communities, and the wider society. This belief is central to why we built Datumra OS. We believe powerful business technology and knowledge should not be reserved for those with the biggest teams, those with the deepest pockets, or those with the strongest networks. Founders should have access to the systems and support to help them build with greater confidence, make better decisions, and turn their ideas into something lasting. But the right tools are only part of the journey. Founders also need the chance to be discovered, valued, and given meaningful opportunities to move forward. And that is exactly why we created VC26. VC26 is our global venture competition designed to celebrate business founders at every stage, widen access to opportunity, and ensure that meaningful ideas and ventures receive the spotlight and recognition that they deserve. I am incredibly proud to be part of it, and I cannot wait to see the founders, ideas, and ventures that Datumra OS and VC26 brings to the spotlight. Thank you and welcome.
So, why did we build Datumra? So, right now, the global economy looks quite scary. There's layoffs, there's AI anxiety. Is AI going to steal my job? There's a lot of things that are actually impacting people and their sense of purpose. Beyond this, we haven't even solved the problem in the global economy of the lack of financial and entrepreneurial education. So as emerging technology evolves, the gap between knowledge and the technologies that are available are going to continue to increase. Yet, in other positive news, entrepreneurship is on the rise. And this can be seen in things such as on LinkedIn, with the terminology founder being the fastest growing and most prevalent title on LinkedIn, showing that the new generation is choosing to build for themselves. We all have lived through this global pandemic. Unless you're aged less than 6, which if you're joining us tonight or today, wherever you're based in the world, you are probably over the age of 6. So you probably lived through the global pandemic like I have. And I think living through this quite unique experience, people's sense of purpose has dramatically changed. People seem to be more optimistic about technology, but scared by the consequences of technology. And people are asking, what are the things that rapidly emerging technologies are actually going to do and impact into their businesses? And I would actually say we're in a golden era right now. This is a very unique time. There's an extraordinary opportunity, but it's not going to remain untouched forever. We're living through this revolution. And I would actually say this revolution is on par to the industrial or electrification revolutions of the past. And if you look at history, we already know that history repeats itself, and change is scary. When you look at history at these events, there's been riots, it's destroyed people's sense of purpose, and it's actually left entire communities feeling lost. But another thing we've learned is that early adopters of the revolution and technology often unlock first mover advantages, and the people who embrace change actually have opportunities before everyone else runs and follows the herd. So you might be thinking, is this AI, is all the technology that's going on around us going to be something that's big in the future? But actually, the revolution is happening right now. So this guy, Sam Altman, founder of OpenAI, he said, we will see a $1 billion company. And this has already pretty much nearly happened with this guy and his brother creating a $1.8 billion company already since Sam said that. So wow, that has happened even faster than I expected, to be honest. But with all this innovation, AI is still being built for the enterprise rather than making it accessible for your solo founders, your startup founders, the people on that initial journey. But AI is becoming more accessible, but not completely accessible yet. So we started Datumra because we wanted to be the change that we wanted to see in the world. Play VT. So meet Datumra OS. Let's just make one thing clear. We're not just launching one product today. Not even two. Not even three. Four? No. We're launching 5 products today. And these are all designed to make your business easier to manage. As if by magic. Let's have a look at these. App number 1, Project Magic. So we've developed something that makes your projects a lot easier to manage. So you know your daily, your weekly, your monthly, your quarterly work, sort by the things that are actually important. So you always know what you need to be working on next. The second product we're launching is Relationship Magic. It's a powerful relationship manager that brings the right people and conversations together without the complexity. App number 3, Knowledge Magic, your playbooks, business knowledge, financial records, as if by magic, all brought into one place. Growth Magic, the practical support you need to hire, sell, reduce that repetitive admin, pretty much do all these AI automations and bring those into your business. And finally, Security Magic. Imagine the bouncer of your business, a personal gatekeeper that's protecting your data and watching out for the common security risks. 5 powerful apps or products. Actually, that's not true. I've done a bit of a Steve Jobs on you here. We're launching just one product, Datumra OS. 5 apps combined into one useful system. What we like to call your minimum awesome system. We spoke with hundreds of founders. We listened to what makes running a business harder than it needed to be. And from this research, we got a lot of feedback. Such as technology, it's overcomplicated, overpriced. So we designed Datumra OS around the minimum that a business actually needs. Enough structure, enough knowledge, protection to get you started without you having to worry about all these unnecessary tools and learning all this complicated software. So we removed the complexity. We rooted through, and it did take me quite a while, and Coral helped me with it, but we removed a lot of the jargon that normally exists in these technologies. We made the product more accessible. We added things like accessibility features, dyslexia mode, screen readers. We also made sure that all the language was plain. So our principle, you don't need to be great at technology, you don't need a business MBA, and you don't need a great network to start a business. We've put this philosophy in everything that we have built with Datumra OS. We studied what successful businesses need from that very beginning onto their growth journey and created our first ever MAS. I don't actually know if that is referred to anywhere online, but maybe we've just invented that word, MAS, Minimum Awesome System. You heard it here first, guys. The Minimum Awesome System, which uses human-first AI, which is another new concept. I'm actually pretty sure that this isn't used anywhere because this is a bit of something that we've been working on very secretly behind the scenes. And it's that secret. I can't actually go too much in detail about it because some of you may be our competitors if you're watching right now. We don't want to give the game away with what we've been working on, but we will tell you that the results of this new technology have been quite phenomenal. So we've already found that using this technology, AI and using automations, the hallucinations have dropped to pretty much zero. We use less AI intensity, making it better for the environment, ironically. And getting more accurate insights. We use lots of research, a lot of data to back everything that we put into building this product. And it's really exciting to actually be sharing with this finally. Another thing we've been working on is breakwater security. Like cybersecurity, I think, is so important, and we take cybersecurity extremely seriously. We don't want you to be afraid of using the platform. I know there's a lot of fear with AI agents where they may just start emailing people or doing things without your knowledge. So what we've actually done is we've created a system that protects you from that. We treat every single AI as a privileged user, and as a privileged user, any of the agentic workflows that run are treated with this minimum philosophy, the principle of least privilege, that not only protects you as an individual, but it also protects all your data. And it can prevent you from experiencing data leaks, it can prevent you from having your accounts compromised, and it proactively supports you against people even impersonating you via email. Another thing we built into Datumra OS is accessible technology. So you may say, I'm not technical, why would I use this product? Well, actually, we've made it so you don't need to know anything about prompting, which kind of is a little bit ironic for an AI business. And I got asked this question, why wouldn't someone just use Claude or ChatGPT? Well, not many of you are. 84% of people have never even used AI. That's phenomenal. Read that again. 84% of people have never used AI. And if you think about how many people have ever started a business or running a business right now, that number, that's quite small. So we made sure that everything that we built was accessible and could actually be used without you needing to have the technical knowledge of how to use it. The way I see the big LLMs, they are exceptional supercomputers and super calculators even. And with a super calculator, just like a traditional calculator, if you don't know the functions, you don't know how to word it, you don't know how to prompt correctly, you're probably going to be throwing a lot of effort in and not getting the right responses out. So ironically, if you use Datumra OS, you never need to see a prompt. You never need to see a chatbot. It does everything behind the scenes as if by magic. And it's more than an AI wrapper. We have built it to be powerful even if AI was cut off or turned off tomorrow. We've made sure that all the processes that run in the system reduce the AI in usage wherever possible, which actually means that our technology becomes a lot more affordable. It's better for the carbon footprint of the environment, and it also means that we can make this available to more people that wouldn't necessarily have had access to it in the past. If any of you know me, I do screenwriting on the side, and this is a rule that I always follow: show, don't tell. I feel like I've talked a lot about the product, but now it's time to show you the product. So here we go. This is the world premiere demo of Datumra OS. Take it away.
I've got so much to show you, so I'm going to try and go through this as quickly as possible. But when you first get into Datumra, it gives you this reminder that you are building something that matters. So let's get started. The first time you use Datumra, you can either install the operating system or fast track directly into the platform, depending on how much time you have. Always recommend, if you have the time, to get stuck in and run through the onboarding process. This will take you through setting up your foundation, setting up your integrations, setting up your relationship manager, your project manager. And if you want to build out your first AI automation or your toolkit or growth kit, this is a great time to get it done. But don't worry, you can just do as much or as little as you need to in the time that you have. So the first place we always recommend starting is with workflows. So at the moment, with the big VC26 competition, we are giving the access to both Validate and the Workflow Pulse completely free of charge, not only to applicants of VC26, but everyone on this call today is also getting access. More on that later. You can run this quick process where it will learn a little bit about your either business idea or your existing business. Validate can take between 10 to 20 minutes, depending on how advanced you are in your process of building that venture. Pulse, on the other hand, can take anything up to 45 minutes. So make sure that you select the right option based on your current progress in your business. And whichever you do, you'll get a lovely report which will give you lots of insights. This is an example of a Validate, which covers a one-page business plan, market research, growth strategy, all the things that Datumra has found in terms of competitive advantages that are absolutely critical pieces of information for when you are getting a new idea or business set up. The next stage, you can take this either by importing it directly into your business blueprint, or you can set up a traction doc where you take these actions, you assign them the time period when you want to specifically get these actions completed by, and the traction doc will monitor your progress into completing those actions. So additionally, within Foundation, you can access blueprints, you can access the finance system, and you can also access playbooks. This is a quick example of what a business blueprint could look like. It is what it says on the tin, a blueprint of how your business runs and operates. Playbooks, let's use the Brand Bible playbook as an example here. It can synthesize your voice, look at how your business should be operating in terms of its social media and marketing strategy. You can then import this and use this as part of the Catalyst tools for when you're building marketing campaigns. In line with the Minimalist Awesome system, we wanted to make sure there was somewhere where you could save your financial data, your invoices, your receipts, collate them all. So when you need to put them in front of a bookkeeper, you've got them all collated into one place. You can even have these automatically imported directly from your inbox. The relationship manager we call Orbit. Once you've built a blueprint, it can recommend the setup to you as what is going to be the best setup for your business. You can completely manually set this up if you would like to, but we've tried to make it as easy as possible. So here you can see some examples where, based on the business plan, the types of people more likely to be linked to coaches and experts type of business plans, or B2B sales, or founder relationships. What we'd recommend is you pick the one that most fits with your business, and then you can customize it in the next steps by picking out the people that you need closest to you, which funnels you would like to set up. So these are ways that you can track your relationships over time. You can set up reminders so your relationships don't get forgotten and you remember to follow up. If you've just met someone at an important event and you need to follow them up, you can set up a funnel that will remind you and support you with that. Tags are completely customizable, and we strongly recommend you tag based on what is going to be useful for you. Once you've set up Orbit, this is where you can bring your contacts into Orbit. Run a diagnostics, look at how chaotic your inbox is. This is a demo version, but if we switch to my account, yeah, I've got a lot in there. So this is where Inbox Zen can be very helpful, and we'll search through all of your inbox noise and help you clear out the things from your inbox which are distracting your attention, or you can unsubscribe for the things that you signed up to, but they're just filling your inbox and you're not reading them anymore. You can then add relationships directly into Orbit, which will then create this roadmap of who's important to you, your business. The next cool thing it does is it analyzes your sent emails to look at how you write your emails. So nobody likes this AI slop, as they call it, these generations that just look and sound like everybody else. Datumra will try and learn as much as it can about your writing style, how formal you are, how warm you are, the common phrases you use, and the common phrases you avoid. I personally hate the word clarity, bugs me, so I will put in here, do not generate any content with the word clarity. Once you've got this all set up, you can bring your contacts into there. That is Orbit. So we've done foundation, we have done orbit. Let's go to focus. Focus is where I call this the attention economy. It's where you want to focus your time. You want to think about the things that you need to do today, your urgence and your importance. You then want to think about the things that you want to do this week, the urgent but not importance, the importance and not urgent, the ones that you want to categorize. So this is where you think about how you organize your time. And Datumra will look at your business contact and will apply a weight to your tasks so you can actually see which are the ones that are going to be most important for you to do. If you like a little bit of focus time, you can cut distractions by using an inbuilt Pomodoro timer. Catalyst is the next thing I'm going to mention. Is a bit of a machine in terms of all the things it can do, but the whistle stop tour is Catalyst is the place you want to go to when you want to either pull out important insights from meetings, if you want to track your active campaigns, if you want to build a quick start, so if you want to hire someone for the first time, if you want to build a proposal, these are things that can get you quick started. This is essentially the growth and sales hub of the platform. And I will go very quickly onto the last but definitely not the least important thing, which is Breakwater, which is our inbuilt security system designed to protect you, make sure your data is encrypted, control access to AI, monitor integrity of your systems, and give threat intelligence. So anything that's connected into the platform, we want to make sure that anything that is linked is protected through the Breakwater platform. I am going to wrap up very quickly by showing you the dashboard where this all comes together. The dashboard will give you a daily brief. It will look at what are the most important things in your focus. It will give you what we call business signals, things like invoices, things that maybe are in the invoice system that are important and need to get flagged to you. This is just your quick at a glance. You can also, from here, look at any actions you can complete quickly. If there is an email thread that you need to reply to, this will proactively give you a draft response based on how you write and type. Learn earlier from our writing style kit. It's just designed to be that extra brain for you when you have so many plates spinning. There is also so much more in the platform that I've not had time to go into on this demo, but hopefully this just gives you a very quick whistle-stop tour of the 5 products that we are launching as part of Datumra OS today. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you for being a part of this amazing journey.
Thank you so much, Chris, for that amazing presentation.
Thank you.
Very exciting. And I'm so super excited about the next part of what I'm going to be introducing. And this is the VC26 Global Venture Competition.
Woo!
Woohoo! Woo! Which we are really excited to be talking about now. So, in this VC26 venture competition, there are over $20,000 in prizes, plus founder rewards, global exposure, credibility, and access to a community built for ambitious entrepreneurs, built for you, guys.
Very exciting.
The stakes. This is what's in store. This is what you can expect. Prizes, recognition, and lots of support. You're going to be rewarded from the start. So we wanted it that the VC26 is going to be designed to create value from the very first moment you apply, through applicant rewards and founder resources, to finalist visibility, I think that's really important. Live showcase opportunities and winner recognition. The winner package. So everyone wants to be a winner, and this is no different. The winner package is going to be a mix of physical prizes, software credits, partner rewards, founder resources, Datumra support, and selected cash grants. Ka-ching!
Ka-ching!
Where available. Everyone has show me the money.
Yeah.
Exposure. So we're going to give you exposure to the people who can help. And this is global exposure. So this is by VCs, other businesses, funders, and collaborators.
And sometimes it's very valuable, the connections you make with other businesses, not just your own. So
sometimes it's more valuable.
More valuable.
Money, you can't buy prizes. You get immediate free access to Datumra to validate your business and get valuable business insights. Woohoo! Beyond the prizes, the opportunity continues. Showcase your venture. Across the VC26 community partner network, there will be a judging panel and wider founder audience. I don't know if we're going to give any little treats or hints as any of our judges, but there you go. we've got some nice judges. The live finals and finalists will be judged to showcase their venture live. This is your opportunity to show us what you have got. And this is live to the VC26.
VC26. I'm just getting a little bit late here.
VC26 community, judges, partners, and selected investor network. Nothing like going live. VC26 community. Applicants get access to a community of ambitious founders. I think community is just key. Operators and people will genuinely support you wherever you are in the stage of your business. Now, this is where people ask, what are the VC26 award categories? So I'm going to run through them one by one. And this is where you enter the next chapter.
Shall I run through quickly and then you can give them a big intro?
If you'd like.
Okay.
I was in a flow, but go on.
So, in no particular order, well, they are slightly in a particular order, but we'll go into that in a moment. We have the new idea. We have solo builders. We have lean teams, future giants, capital ready, purpose ventures, barrier breakers, the wild card. 8 categories. Coral, tell us more.
Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit slower and give you more in-depth to the 8 award categories. There are 8 different starting points because generally people are at different starting points in their business. And there are 8 powerful ways that you can tell your story. So we want you to think about, this is really important because we want you to think about your story and find the category that is right for you. So the first one is the new idea. This is where you think of the idea of the napkin, the light bulb, where you're scribbling notes down. And I've given this example of Joy Mangano. And I don't know if you know who Joy is. Well, I'm sure you do, Chris. But Joy Mangano was a single parent mother who had this great idea. So personal lived experience when she was mopping, I think it was, she was on a boat and she was mopping up some glass, some red wine, and she cut her hands on it. And this is where she found that a frustrating everyday problem that she actually designed the self-wringing miracle mop. Try and say that, Chris. Self-wringing miracle mop.
Self-wringing miracle mop.
And then not only did this become a successful business, but she had multiple businesses on there. And she if you watch the film Joy, she did fund other businesses and she did encourage women entrepreneurs too. But a simple idea rooted in lived experience. So we're looking for these new ideas. Solo builders. Build independently, multiply your leverage. And when we talk about solar builders, not everything has to be done by you, but the main flow of the business will be just you, just one person. So a great example that we have here is Sarah Blakely. Sarah Blakely, she was, I don't know if you know the story, Chris, but she was wearing some tights, and she actually cut the feet off the tights so that her trousers fit better. And she started a company called Spanx. And she did this alone. She resisted funding. So she started it with her own savings, patent research, and relentless manufacturer outreach. One founder, now a huge global brand.
And the funny thing was, she was recently asked, who invested in your business? And her question was, investors? Who are they? She set up, bootstrapped it completely from scratch. She went out there. There was a running joke that she was sponsored by American Express or whichever card she was using, but she took her pain into a multi-billion-dollar company, and she is in the billionaire list right now. So a very inspirational story of how a solo founder can actually create something that is quite incredible.
There are quite a lot of solar builders, to be fair, but I love this story of what Sarah did and how she, single mum as well, I believe. Single mum, I'm not sure. I know that Joy was single mum, but I'm not sure with Sarah, but I love this story. It's very inspiring. I'm sure someone in the chat will have corrected me. The next category we have is lean teams. And this is a small team with an outsized advantage. And the example we've got here is Canva. And Canva was basically a small team, but one focused mission to make design accessible to everyone. And again, small team, but they were addressing a global problem. Future giants. So these are the ones that are thinking of the overall big picture. So we've got this example of Amazon. Start focused, but build for substantial scale. It started actually selling books. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
So you can see that here with loads of books. But the vision was always much bigger. One vision, one starting point, but a global platform that is just...
There's a fantastic, iconic picture online with Jeff Bezos with a hand-drawn Amazon logo on a desk behind him, and just the amazing, another amazing example.
And our next category we have is capital ready. So capital ready is when you've got the evidence and you're turning your pitch into an opportunity. The example I've got here is Airbnb. And the reason I've gone for Airbnb as the example is they have this very unusual idea. They had proven demand, so they tested it, they marketed it, and they had a model built to scale that now it is global. So they started with, I don't know if it was about 80 properties, but they started with, and they were just ready to go. So when you're capital ready, and you're at the stage where you just need a little bit of investment and you just need that push, capital ready. Evidence made the opportunity investable. And I think that's what you've got to remember with this one. Purpose Ventures, one of my favourites, Purpose Ventures, because this is where you're looking at building sustainable value and measurable impact. So I want you to think about here, if you're doing anything for the planet, for animals, and for people, then this is probably the right category for you. And an example that I chose for this one, The Body Shop, mainly because they addressed all three. They were looking at sustainability, the environment, animal welfare, and providing a product, not using animal products. So that's why I use The Body Shop. Again, I love this. Look at the picture of the rabbit. Amazing.
Oh, so cute.
Commercial growth with animal welfare, human rights, and environmental action at its core. Purpose and performance. Our next one is barrier breakers, another one of my sweet spots, where if you have got a business or you're an idea and you're looking at breaking a barrier. So this is overcoming a barrier for you. This could be where you've been overcoming barriers for yourself. So this could be your personal lived experience, but you're moving them for others. And a really nice example that you gave me, Chris, was Be My Eyes.
Yeah.
I just think that's such an incredible example of a barrier breaker.
Yeah.
And here we have. So the technology for Be My Eyes is connecting blind and visual impaired people with sighted volunteers and removing everyday barriers. If you actually go onto their app, they have got thousands, hundreds of thousands of volunteers, people that are being the eyes of someone who needs this. So what a great category to be in if you've got something like this. We're excited. And we have got, last but no means least, the wild card. And we put this in. This was an extra addition as to what happens if you don't fit in any of the categories. And you think, well, it's not a barrier breaker. I'm not capital ready. It's not exactly a new idea. And the example here I had to put in was Mr. Beast. And if anyone doesn't know who Mr. Beast is, he just has a very uncanny way of challenging the mold, making a difference, making a lot of money through what he does. And he's grown a massive empire just by being different. And I've put here entertainment, experimentation, generosity, and a spectacle. He's done it. I think there's quite a few that could go in the wild cards, to be fair.
Yeah.
We could have got quite a few in there, but he was the one I thought about because he is.
It's definitely an outlier. Yeah.
He is definitely the beast. Now, you might not be a Mr. Beast, but you might be one of the ones that are a wild card that does not fit into one of those categories. It could be that you fit into more than one category. And if that's the case, you can choose. I'm right that they can choose more than one. And we might actually choose one for them.
So you can choose one primary category and a secondary category. And if a judge thinks that you would be better for another category, they can add a third category onto it. So in reality, you've got 3 chances of getting it right. So, but there is a very helpful little tool on the site where if you're not sure about the category, it'll ask you a couple of questions and it may suggest which category could fit you. So there's also a support function. So if you are really struggling, you can put the support function in there. Let us know that you're having problems selecting the right category and we will help you as best as we can.
Just one thing I want to say about that though. If you do need extra support, because we do want to make this 100% accessible to everybody. So if you do need support, please let us know before the closing date. Give us as much notice as possible so that we have time, so that we can give you the necessary support that you need. But we will be putting in the chat and a very simple walk-through guide on how to choose your category and a few tips, judges' tips as well, some things like your friend would tell you basically on what you should or shouldn't be doing really. So these are our 8 categories. And this is just a reminder that you choose the category that makes your strongest, most honest story. Yeah. So what we're looking for is show us where you started, how it began. Show us what you did with what you had. And show us where you could go next. Many people have amazing ideas, but they've done nothing with it. And this is a time to show us exactly what you've done and where you are and why you are where you are with what you're doing.
And importantly, with the resources that you have had. If you have set up something and you're making great traction with limited resources, that is really impressive. We want to know the full story. We want to know how you have built this up. And there are some great stories out there with people who have started businesses with no funding, no team. They've gone out there, they've had this resilience, they've had this tenacity. They have not listened to the world telling them that they can't do it, and they've just pushed forward. And these are the types of stories that we really want to hear about.
It's exciting.
It is.
I'm so excited to hear and see what's going to come from this. 8 categories or one goal. And the goal is to recognise builders at every stage. You do not need to look perfect. Well, you need to look at us. You do not need to look perfect.
What are you trying to say?
You just need to show progress. Now, what judges will look for. So we're going to enter the next chapter and just give you a few little tips here. Judges are looking for one thing first. Do you know what that is?
Go on.
What have you done?
There we go.
With the time you had. With the money you had, if you had money. With the experience you had. So many people that have lived experiences, they have an experience and they do something with that experience. With the support you had. We know many builders are building without a safety net, and it is scary. And that matters. But action matters too. Have you tested the idea? Have you asked your family and friends, what do you think of this? Have you spoken to your customers or potential customers? Have you built anything? Have you learned something real? Have you changed direction when the evidence told you to? This is something that we've done and we believed has been really important. We've had to pivot, and we've done it a few times, haven't we? Yeah. Over, I'd say, the last 12 months.
I'd actually say if you have not noticed that you've needed to pivot, you may be getting ready where you need to pivot. And don't be afraid. There's this sunk cost fallacy that when you focus on building one idea, it feels sometimes that making a pivot or a change, you're losing all the effort that you actually put into it. But don't. The pivot happens for a reason, and quite often the change in direction, if you've got the right evidence, can make or break your business.
Thank you. This is what matters. That is what matters. So this is the VC26 guide that I'm going to pop down a link in the chat. It will help you choose your category.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully it will help you understand. It's designed to help you better understand the process. It will help you submit a stronger application. And this is how to apply. And this is really important. Step 1, choose your category. And I hope what these slides have done is help you decide where you are. But don't worry if you're still undecided. But step 1, choose your category or your 2 categories. Pick the one that best fits your venture today. So where you are right now. If you are unsure, trust your instinct. What is your stomach telling you? What do you feel your instinct is saying? Where do you think or feel that you best fit in what category? And remember, there is always the wild card. Remember, you can also choose a secondary category. And, as we said earlier, judges can nominate you for another category too. So, you have 3 chances to get this right. Step 2, run one Datumra workflow. Remember, all of these are free. So you've got the opportunity that you can do this and you will gain lots from this. Most founders will use Validate because this will validate your idea. I've used this loads of times. I love it. I get an idea and I just run it through Validate to see if that's going to make me the next millionaire. It's great. But most founders will use Validate. More developed ventures may use Pulse. So there are 2 options. You only need to complete one. But you can do both if you like. Just to let you know, Pulse takes a lot longer than Validate, which I didn't realise till I started. Yeah, so it's a lot more in depth.
Validate usually is about 10 to 20 minutes. Pulse is your full deep dive, and depending on how complicated your business is, it can be anything up to 45 minutes to an hour. So most of the time, you are fine with Validate. We want to make the application process easier, not harder.
It's easy. But you can, if you want to do both, it's free to do it. But when you run Pulse, you're obviously putting in more information, finding out, thinking more, thinking deeper about your business. But you do need to set time aside to do it. But Validate, you can do that having a cup of coffee, basically, and you'll do it and get lots of great results. So this is completely free. And the insights, it says may be valuable to your business, but I think they're definitely valuable to your business. And it might get you to rethink or pivot or change your direction or think again about your timing and your product. But Validate is fantastic.
And an important thing to mention is there is scoring that comes up as part of these reports, but that is guidance for you. The judges are not looking at the scoring as a metric to whether or not you get through the rounds of VC26. We're looking for real honesty in your application. So don't feel that if your score doesn't look as great as someone else's, that doesn't matter. We're looking for your story. We're looking for you as an individual. We much prefer honesty over just making up figures to try and make it look better or falsifying anything, because that's not what we're looking for. We want to know the real you, the good, the bad, the ugly, but we'll get a little bit more onto that in a minute.
I think that's so valuable to know, because I've run different ideas through, and it might not be, your score is not saying that your idea is not great. Your score could be that what you need to do, where you are in the process. It could be that your timing, it could be who you need to contact. It could show different things. It doesn't mean you're not going to win a prize if your score's low. So the scores is something to help you, and it's something to guide you in what you're doing. It definitely will not be used to decide who wins in the categories.
And you could be one of the spot prize winners anyway, so you don't even need to get through the first round to be able to get a spot prize.
Absolutely. So. We do not judge you on the report score. We do not judge you on the report score. So feel comfortable and confident to use this in the best way for you and your business. It will give you a real good insight into what to do and where to go next. It's a fantastic tool. So do not, just be honest when you're completing this. That's all I can say. We judge the venture, the idea. Oh, it's exciting. The concept, the traction, the evidence.
The honesty.
Honesty, I think, is the big one here. The honesty. We're asking you to be real. Just be you. Come as you are. Just be yourself. Be raw. We like raw. Be raw. I like raw, except I don't like sushi, raw sushi. Be specific. Be specific. Tell us what it is that you're doing. So somebody, I know you might want to change the world. I'd like to change the world. I'd like world peace. Tell us how you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Tell us what the process is, what the steps would be. Be specific. Give us a breakdown of what you're going to do, how you're going to do it.
And one thing I don't think we've mentioned is when you are putting this together, there's a lot of opportunity to reflect on what you're building. What I'd actually say is, ultimately, we want to find some amazing ventures out of all the people who apply. We want to open doors. We want to make sure that they're put in front of the right people. And I'd actually say one of the things to prepare is, if you are put in front of the right people, what are you asking them for? What do you need from them? What support do you want? Be specific when it comes to what you actually need, because that will be a lot more constructive in the time that you have when you do open doors and get the opportunity to meet with people who could potentially have amazing impact and could change the entire course of your business forever.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you think that the people in this community, in the VC26 community, and the judges that we have, they'll be looking at the applications. So be specific. Maybe it's somebody could help you or put you in touch with the right people or connections. There are so many opportunities if you be specific. So good one.
Yeah.
Good one. The workflow will help you fill out the next application step.
Yeah. So when you run the workflow, it will help you pre-fill in the questions in the application. Now, it is using Datumra to help you do that. So if there is anything in there that you think, oh, actually, no, that's not quite right, do make sure you edit it. Make sure it is yours. But it will speed up a lot of the time, and it does mean that you save time because you don't have to go in there and put a completely polished pitch deck together, or a lot of these competitions out there will ask you to put so much together. We've wanted to make it as easy as possible so that this step in the process is done as if by magic, so to speak, going back to some of our demos and things we've discussed earlier.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it's really important to say that we are trying to spoon feed you really along the way and help you as much as we can and support you. So as Chris just said, you can edit it, and we encourage you to do so. Just make sure this is you, your voice that you are speaking. If you don't agree with something, change it, edit it. You should edit it. Make sure it sounds like you. Then comes a written application. Do you know, a lot of people do get afraid of the written application, and there's many reasons why. But we don't want you to be afraid. And for this part, I know this sounds strange because we're talking about AI. We ask you please not to use AI. Yes, an AI company is asking you not to use AI because we do not want to see the same polished text in every box. We want you.
We do want you.
What were you going to say, Chris?
I was going to say, I don't know if I can read any more not becauses in my life and the word clarity. Anyway, no, we want you. Continue.
But I do want to expand on this a little bit because I know that not everybody not everyone's comfortable, confident in writing. And I was okay at English at school, but I know a lot of people, even writing an email, it can be a task, can't it? Getting your email right. So I don't want people to worry about this point. And this is something I really want to emphasize. And really, 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 we want your words. We want your story, your reality. You will not be judged on spelling. No matter how cringeworthy your spelling is, you will not be judged on it. And that is really key. So anyone who is worried about that, do not worry at all. You will not be judged on grammar. You will be judged on what is important. VC26. You are the founders. You are in the global venture competition. And I'm speaking personally, and I know from Chris, I am just so excited to what's going to come next. And I just wish everyone an amazing experience, an amazing journey, a fantastic way to learn about yourself, learn about others, network with others, and get the global recognition you deserve.
And we are always open to feedback. So we want this to be as driven by the people that are involved, our partners, the people who are coming through the process, that are applying through the process. We want to hear from you. We want to make this as valuable as possible. We have spent months putting a lot of this together, and it's been a lot of work, but also extremely exciting. And I was gobsmacked with when I saw the guest list of who was joining this evening, and It's just phenomenal. It's just phenomenal. And not putting pressure on at all for us during this broadcast tonight, but no.
And I don't know if we've said it already, or I'm sure we have, that we just really want to thank everyone for joining us, and especially for the people who are collaborating, sponsoring, helping us. And it's like Chris, like you've just said, it's quite humbling.
We can't thank you enough, and we'll probably thank you again before the end. But no, we are going to go on to a quick VT, so we'll be recapping on some of all of the categories and a quick run through of the Venture Competition 2026. And then we'll be back after this.
Every remarkable venture has a starting point. VC26 was created to recognize what founders can build from theirs. VC26 is a free global venture competition built to widen access to recognition, support, and meaningful opportunity. Applying can help you examine your business, strengthen your story, and become easier for the right people to discover. VC26 creates value at every stage, from applicant resources and rewards to exposure, venture support, and winner recognition. VC26 can connect ambitious ventures with founders, investors, funders, businesses, partners, and potential collaborators. Choose your category, complete one free workflow, enter review, and progress towards the pitch room and live finals. Judges will look beyond polish. They want to understand what you tested, built, learned, and changed with the resources available. 4 categories follow the venture growth path. 4 recognize investment readiness, impact, barrier removal, and ventures that defy convention. The new idea is for people taking an idea from 0 to 1 through research, testing, and early action. Solo Builders recognizes founders using technology, systems, and specialist support to build with one-person unicorner ambition.
Lean Team celebrates small teams combining the right people, systems, and technology to build with decacorn ambition.
Future Giants is for companies with the market, model, and ambition to become a 100-person hectacorn. Capital Ready recognizes ventures with the evidence, structure, and ambition to turn investment into a credible next stage.
Purpose Ventures is for organizations creating serious positive impact for people, animals, or the environment through a sustainable model.
Barrier Breakers recognizes ventures removing barriers linked to disability, age, identity, background, income, networks, or geology. The wild card is for unusual, overlooked, or hard to categorize ventures whose unconventional approach creates serious potential. Choose the category that best reflects what you have done, the evidence you can show, and the story judges will remember. Choose your category. Complete one free Datumra workflow, then submit an honest application written in your own words. Apply, nominate, or partner with VC26 and help us bring the founders the world should be paying attention to into the spotlight.
Wow, so that has got me so excited, Coral, about the VC26 competition. It's going to be absolutely awesome. And I'm personally really invested into this because I think that every founder should get the opportunity to get started. And it's an absolute pleasure that we're able to do this through such a fantastic initiative. And I actually was going through the event list of the people who actually signed up for this. And I did put my hand, literally my hand in my head and say like, wow, that there are some amazing people who have actually joined us in this call today. And I am so appreciative of that. And also the amount of opportunities that you guys can open up to these founders getting started is just phenomenal. So I'm just quite overwhelmed with tonight because it's just amazing. But on that note, we do have a very exciting announcement, and I may have given the game away with a couple of people because some of you have already Well, I'm not going to give the away, but let's do the little drum roll. I don't know if we've got a sound effect that the tech guy can add in. Maybe not, I don't know, but let's go on. We've got an exciting announcement. And this is only for the people that are joining this call today. And some of you have got a little bit of a hint, and you turned up for this exact reason. And we've not posted this anywhere online, and we're not going to. This is between us and you guys watching right now. And we expect that seats for this are going to get snapped up really quickly. So I would just say, don't be disappointed. We will try our best to accommodate everyone who wants to be involved in this, but we do have our limits. So it is going to be first come, first served. Once we release the link, if you don't make it, don't worry, there's going to be more opportunities. It just may be later on in the year, but it's this problem that we have with supply and demand. There's only enough of us to go around when we get started, but I already appreciate everyone in advance for being part of this amazing opportunity today and the launch event. So what am I talking about? Today, we're opening founder member access to Datumra OS. What does this mean? As a founding member, we are going to give you an extremely significant discount on what a normal person who's signing up when we do the full launch in September would pay. And what this does is it actually opens the door to quite a few things. It means that we can actually have a live implementation workshop directly with you. We can build with you. You can be part of this founding community team. If someone could just drop in the side chat there somewhere, there is a link if it's not already been done so with all of the information. We've thrown in some fantastic bonuses. We've thrown in some fantastic things. I think when we priced all this up, that this worked out probably about £3,500 UK pounds of value that we're going to put in for a very significantly low price. So look at the link, look on there. This is a one-time opportunity, and it's also a chance for you to become part of this founding member and have this founding member status that you were part of this from the very beginning. But I need to be very clear, legal reasons and also my morals and ethics, that Datumra OS does not guarantee success in VC26. I'll say that again. You do not need to be a paying Datumra OS customer or member to be able to win VC26. I need to make that really important. VC26 is free to enter. It will always be free to enter. And my philosophy is that money should not be the thing that stops you from getting started. Our free tools that are available right now, and we'll go a little bit more into that after the Q&A, they're there to make starting a business a lot easier than it used to be. And they're also there for the people who are at that point that they want to scale and grow their businesses, but they don't know how to do it. Use them, build with them, enter with them. And if Datumra OS is right for you, today is the best time for you to join. Become a founding member. There's a link in the chat. Enter your venture into VC26. Another link in the chat. I dread to think how many links are in the chat right now. I hope our moderator's dealing with that. And if you're a founder, apply today. And if you know a brilliant founder, please nominate them. I don't want this to be something that people don't have access to just because they don't know about it. If you know someone building something great, please nominate them. Make sure that this is across. Give them the opportunity. Help them open these doors. There's a nominate link in there. And we've also made sure that as a nominator, you get some prizes and rewards too. If they make it to the final, then there could be some, I can't go into too much and I can't overpromise, but we'll say there'll be something nice for all the people that nominate our finalists. If you're an investor, partner, member of a founder community, we want to hear from you. We want to know how we can make this as impactful as possible. If there are things that we can collaborate on between our community, your community, building this, we want this to be open to everybody globally. You can register your interest in partnering directly with VC26. There's no cost to this. This is all about putting resources, tools, support directly into the people, building the unicorns, decacorns, I can't even think of the third one. Those are the future. Hectacorns, that's the one. These people, they're doing amazing things. And the venture competition is all about making sure that we are giving them the stage and the opportunity to actually build fantastic businesses and create this world of tomorrow. So this is not just a competition. It's a platform for discovery, for recognition, for access, for founders that the world should be paying attention to. I've talked an awful lot. I don't know about you, but I need a slight break. I'm going to run off for 5 minutes. Let's put a 5-minute timer on the clock. We will be back in 5 for the Q&A. Coral, can you put the kettle on? Welcome back, everyone. I'm so glad we had a little break there because it's just been very overwhelming. I'm back. Coral, we're sat down, we're having a little bit more of a chill now, and it's the bit that I personally find the most exciting part, which is the Q&A. So thank you everybody for submitting your questions. We had so many questions coming through that we will try and cover as much as we can, but we'll put up some of the questions which we feel are the most pressing and the ones that I think people want to know the answers to the most. So the first question, Coral, do you want to read the first question for us?
Certainly, we've had some amazing questions. And I'm going to actually read the first one, and this is Victor Memo. We are a Sierra Leone-based startup venture promoting bamboo cultivation, processing and marketing, supporting women in mining host communities to provide decent and eco-friendly jobs. So the question is, are we qualified and what's the criteria to benefit or be supported?
Yeah, thank you so much for posting that in there, Victor. So I think actually what you're building right there is a great example of the Purpose Ventures and Barrier Breakers categories. So like one of the most important things for us is we wanted to make sure that this was open to anyone located anywhere in the world. Obviously, if there are legal reasons why you cannot take part in this in the venture competition, then those are outside of our control. So as long as it is legal for you to enter, we want to hear from entries everywhere globally. Anything you want to add, Coral?
No, I think it's just that everyone is aware it is a global competition, and we really encourage people to apply and be part of this with us, no matter where they are. And except, like you said, Chris, that if there is a restriction in your area, that you can't do it, but we will help and support individuals from all around, or businesses, or big companies, all around the world. So yeah, I think that's really important to know that.
Just a reminder as well, if you do need any additional support, please make sure you use the support tab on the website. There is special resources out there. We want to make sure that it is as accessible for everybody, but please do give us notice. Don't put a request to get additional support the day before the deadline, because we may struggle, but we will do whatever we can. Thank you, Victor. Second question we have. So this is from Musa. Many venture capital models prioritize rapid financial returns. How can founders building community-owned enterprises that prioritize social impact attract investors who value long-term transformation over short-term profit? Another fantastic question.
It is, absolutely. It's amazing. Really good question from Musa.
And I definitely would say that there are lots of VCs out there, and you'll probably hear that they're all trying to get this 100x return. But a lot of VCs have specialisms. And if you look out, there will be ones that specifically focus on initiatives that are community driven or philanthropic or for special diversity groups. So these ventures are actually focused a little bit more on just the financial returns they're looking for, but they're also funding into unique groups. So if you're actually a unique group and you've got a special purpose, or there's something that you're building that is unique to you, then try and find an investor that is specifically investing in your areas. This could also be sector-specific VCs. So if there's like a specific sector you're working in, look for the VCs that are working in this industry, and you may have more common ground to actually open up some doors. Anything else that you'd add there?
The only thing I can think of is there are more grants available if you have got a community enterprise. So that might be investigating a little bit more on grants and funding that is available.
Yeah.
But no, that is a really good question from Musa.
Yeah, there's some big benefits from actually approaching specific VC funds. So there's more common ground. So you're more likely to open the doors and get those initial conversations. And whenever you're working with a VC, you've got to think other people's money, other people's brains. You're using their money. Do they actually have the right knowledge to actually support you beyond that check? There's actually a fund that comes to mind immediately. So I know Tim Ferriss has, is it the SESI Foundation, which is specifically funding impact-driven philanthropic ventures. I don't think he's accepting ventures at the moment, but that's just one example. There are many funds out there that are definitely worth looking out for and seeing if they're relevant for your particular venture. So yeah, thank you, Musa. Next question, Coral.
The next question we have is from Ravi, and I hope I am pronouncing your name right, Prajapati. As AI makes it easier and faster than ever to build products, what do you think will become the biggest competitive advantage for founders over the next 3 to 5 years when technology itself is no longer the main differentiator?
Yeah.
Great question.
Another great, fantastic questions, guys. Thank you for these. So I'd actually say that as technology becomes more accessible, the competitive advantage will actually remain what it's always been, about building competitive moats. If you think about when new technology has emerged, like blockchain, crypto, NFTs, agentic AI, in the future maybe quantum computing, there's temporary bubbles that form, and in a way it kind of gives people this FOMO. And in particular, investors don't want to be the investor that misses out a massive opportunity. And this also opens doors, that it kind of gets this a little bit of a land grab. There's opportunities to open that didn't really exist before. So going back to your question, the biggest competitive advantage, I think there's definitely, as emerging technologies come out, there's going to continue to be first mover advantages and first mover disadvantages. You're going to have fast followers that come in. So when you think about the competitive advantages, people will learn a lot more about what's going on in the market. They will have proven things that have worked, that are not worked. There'll be more knowledge. So I would actually say that, I hope that answers the question, but things will change and things will continue to shift. Does that make sense?
Yes, but I'd actually like to answer as well, just to add to that. When you think about it, what did we do before technology? So we're talking about what was the biggest before we had technology. Because if we're all at an equal standing, when there's no longer a differentiation between having technology, because everybody has it, what's the competitive edge? What it's always been your credibility, your transparency, how you build your moats, like you said, Chris. But also, what did we do before technology? Because we'll have to revert back to those same things on how can I beat my competitors? How can I be the best in my field? And I think we just will need to go back to basics on how it was done originally. Yeah,
and I think there's also with these. So just looking at the question, become the competitive advantage, that things as they continue to develop, there's going to be bigger gaps as technology continues to evolve. So I'm kind of not answering your question, but answering your question. So hopefully that is a good answer. Let's skip to the next question. So who is next on the list? Phil. Okay, so Phil, as an early stage project, what are the key ingredients required to package your offering for potential angel investors or VCs? And what common pitfalls or mistakes should founders be aware of? Straight away, traction. Traction is the biggest ingredient in the whole thing that investors will be looking for. I think the biggest pitfall or mistake is actually approaching potential angels investors with ideas without actually having the traction. So, and there is an exception. If you've got something that is like a patented technology or very unique intellectual property, that is maybe a rare case where an idea or some piece of intellectual property may be more valuable than the traction of actually selling it. But in 99% of cases, I would actually say you need to be selling your traction, not the idea, to an investor.
I'd like to expand a little bit on that, Chris, probably to repeat what you've said, but kind of like in my dummy terms to people, is that what happens when people, generally the key ingredients, the potential, the pitfalls and mistakes that founders make when they've got a new idea, and it could be an amazing idea, but they've actually done nothing to test the market, not see if they've got customers, or looked at if the timing's right, not actually validating their idea. And I think, and this is something in the VC competition as well, what we'll be looking for is what has that person done with that new idea? What, and this is when you say about traction, what have they done? How have they tested it? Where is the gap in the market? How have they, like you say, if it's a new product, but even if they've got a prototype, even if they've actually got a product, normally they've had some kind of, they've tested it out on the wife, or they've tested it out on the dog, or they've tried it themselves. There's something there that shows me this person has actually done a little bit of work with. So I would say if you're going to ask for money, why would I invest in you if you've not done anything at all with your idea?
Yeah. Next question.
Next question.
So
But nice question, Phil. Great question, really.
We are running out of time very fast, so we'll probably just try and get through one or two final questions before we close off for the evening. In the chat, if there are messages coming through, we do have our moderator in there who will try and answer as much as possible. We've just had so many questions. We just wanted to make sure that we were bringing and surfacing the ones that were the most important and the most asked. So question 5, would you like to read this, or shall I read it?
No, this is from Daria, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Daria Kamkalova. And the question is, why does it make sense for founders to participate in I love this, in startup competitions? How can they pick the right ones? And how can they derive maximum value from them, whether they win or not? Many founders believe competitions can be a complete waste of time. So what factors, including the founder's own input, determine whether entering is worthwhile? Great question, Daria. Chris, do you want to start?
Well, so I have heard horror stories, and I actually know someone quite well who was part of a competition, and they promised them quite a big amount of money at the end of the competition, and then that money never materialized at all. I'd probably say take startup competitions with a pinch of salt, do your research, look into them, find out a little bit more about like why are you entering in the first place? Like for startup competitions, sometimes it's great to get that recognition. It's great to be able to say, well, wow, I've won this competition. It gives me that credibility. It's given me that actual opportunity to open doors. It depends where you are as a business. So complete waste of time would depend on like what you want to get out of it. If you want to get recognition, if you want to open doors, if you want to get networked with VCs, then a lot of competitions are fantastic. If you're wanting to make $500,000 Probably not. There's probably not going to be any competitions out there that are going to make you a lot of money, but it's the doors that these competitions open, it's the unique opportunities, and sometimes it's just having the right people supporting you. I think for me personally, I found being a founder a very lonely experience, and I'm very lucky to have some great people around me. We've got a fantastic advisory team that support us, which I'm extremely grateful for, and I think without them I'd be quite lonely. But this is like for us, I can only be speaking to our competition. Like, we've made it so there is an opportunity to build a community around this. There's this opportunity, and like, it's really great that there's going to be a handful of people at the end of this that will become the finalists, that will have that exposure, will be doing Meet the Judges, will do all these exciting things. But actually, I think taking part can be a little bit self-reflective. Like, we're giving away a lot of our tools, we're giving away a lot of our support completely free. And we're doing this because we want to see more entrepreneurship in the world. We want to see more people inspired. And I think sometimes it's just that little bit of support that makes a whole lot of difference in people's lives. And going back to what I said before about the pandemic and the way that this has pulled away people's purpose, I think there's a lot of pain in the world. And I think there's actually finding your purpose can be very fulfilling. And a lot of people want to build things. They want to actually show that they've either contributed or they've built something exciting. Not everybody. Some people, if you ask them what their dream or their purpose is, they'll say, oh, I just want to go off on a private island and never speak to anyone ever again. Okay. But if your passion is like, you've got a great business idea and you want to see that real, or you want to get something out there in the world, then having the right people around you, getting the right recognition, getting the right connections, and being alongside the people who've done this before that can give you that support are invaluable. So, fantastic question. Would you add anything to that?
I think when it's looking at what you can get from it. So we've been in quite a few competitions, haven't we? So we got to the finals of the Northwest Startup and we didn't win. But the prize was you got a nice little shiny trophy and a bit of recognition.
Yeah.
And would I say it's worthwhile? Did we get maximum value? I think the networking that we did, just by going to the event, the people that we met and the inspiration. But I think what it also does, it helps you kind of reflect on your own product. So we pivoted quite a bit with our product. You get feedback from other people. Sometimes when people have got a new idea, it's the very first time they've actually put it down onto paper and actually thought about, well, what have I done? Well, with this, have I tested it? What's the purpose? So I think the thing about some people think it's a waste of time. I think it's, where are you in your process? What is it that you want to get? What is the outcome that you want from doing it? So what we've just said about making things accessible and free is we want to actually give something for every step of this journey. So you are getting something straight away and you can feel that we are giving something back. So what would you do to maximize the value of a competition? Put as much as you can into it so that you're growing through the process.
Yeah.
And I never go into competitions thinking I'm going to win or not win a competition. I actually think, what will I benefit from the process? If the benefit from the process comes back and you think a lot of time and I get absolutely nothing, which is on some of the competitions we've been in, you have to then weigh it up. Is it worth it? And that can be a time when you say no also. Yeah. No, I don't want to do this. I want to focus on another competition. So it is about thinking, what is your outcome and what you want to get from it?
Yeah, no, great question. We'll just try and fit in one final question really quickly here. Oh, it's a long one. Okay. Lee, I'm going to read it off my phone because the screen's, So when your mission is to serve organizations with the smallest budgets, such as charities, schools, and small businesses, how do you build a venture that is genuinely investable without diluting its impact? Where is the balance between keeping the product affordable enough to reach the people who need it the most and making the business viable enough to attract funding? I am building an online safety platform for exactly these groups. So this is something I wrestle with every day. Where do I start? Coral.
There's quite a lot of questions within the question. So how do you build a venture that's genuinely investable without diluting its impact?
I would just say purpose, really. Like, it all comes down to purpose, that. So you want to build something, and it goes back to the question we had earlier about when you are building something that is purpose-driven, how do you get the right investors on board, even if it's something that's more purposeful than money-driven. And I think you know from like your involvement in CICs that some people will set up organizations because it's more about the purpose. But I'd actually say there's a lot of commercialization you can do in purpose-driven businesses. There's a lot of things like B Corps, there's giving back, and like this question about keeping the product affordable enough to reach people who need it the most. It's kind of this balance, because if you want your product to reach more people, then you probably want to get more grants in. You want the things that are coming to you where they're funding great ideas and making it more impactful. So like you've seen a lot of the grant funding applications and things like that could be involved in there. I think one of the things, if you get an investor on board, because they're looking at returns, they're wanting to get things out of it, you do quite often need to increase your prices. You do quite often need to make things where you're thinking more about the money, because you actually need to pay off the debt you've accrued for investors. So it completely depends on your specific business. But it's actually quite a hard question, that.
It's also hard because we don't actually know whether this is a non-profit organisation, a charity, a CIC, whether it's a limited company, because depending on the organisation will attract different pools of funding. Yeah. You're right that I deal with CICs and non-profits, but that makes a difference. And I think you don't want to undervalue your product, and there are ways to do it, but I probably would need a little bit more on what the structure is. To actually be able to give Lee a bit more advice on that. So maybe that's one we can go back to.
Yeah, definitely. We'll follow up with you, Lee, separately, so we can discuss this in a bit more detail. Someone's just actually mentioned about Elon Musk and the fact that his purpose is to build rockets that can go to Mars, and he's getting paid by the government to do that. So I suppose that's an example of something that's purposefulness and bringing that all together. But yeah. Okay, so.
Great questions, a tricky one.
Thank you, everybody. If you've got more questions, please drop us a message. If you want an email, drop it to founders@datumra.com. We'll try and get back to as many people as we can. But finally, it is time to mention the free gift. You've stayed here for so long. You've made it to the end. We've got to the point where you're probably thinking, are they ever going to shut up? But we did promise everybody a free gift for joining today, and we want to make sure that it is valuable. So everybody who stayed with us is going to get something of value, regardless of whether you enter VC26. So we want to make sure that everybody on here, even if you don't apply for VC26, you still get access to our Datumra OS idea, validation, and business diagnostic workflow. So if you're building a business, you can use that free of charge. It can help you with the market research, the reviewing your competitors, putting your business plan together, all the basic structure of getting your business idea started. And the business diagnostics is fantastic. It looks at where the biggest risks and opportunities in your business is right now, and also the opportunities where you can embed AI, and that is completely free of charge. If anyone wants to get access, we'll drop a link in the chat there so you can get onto that immediately. Okay, exciting thing. Everybody who has made it to this point, please say hi in the chat right now. Do it. Go on, say hi. Give us a wave. Put some things in there. Amazing. Right. Everybody here is going to get access to the open pitch room. And not only are you going to access to the open pitch room, which is going to be on the 15th of August, you are also going to get a VIP ticket. So you are officially our VIPs. Give us a woo!
Woo!
I think it's quite late on in the day now. I think my brain's, the energy's a little bit there. So thank you for bearing with me. So 15th of August, if you're a founder, this means that you will have the chance to pitch. If you're an investor, this means warm introductions to the startups pitching if you want them. So please use it. Enter the VC26 venture competition. Nominate great founders. Partner with us. Support our mission to make entrepreneurship more accessible and easier to access for the world. Join us and help more founders get their rightful place into the spotlight. Thank you for joining us. And lastly, welcome to Datumra OS and welcome to the Venture Competition 2026, VC26, the Datumra Venture Competition. Thank you and good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for joining us so much.
Welcome to the future of computing. This is Datumra OS, and it is the minimum awesome system for your business.
Are you ready for the future? We are just 10 seconds away. Let's hear it. 2, 1. Happy New Year, everyone!
Silicon heartbeat starts to pound. Iron circuits leaving the ground. No ghost, just a steel in the frame. Igniting the fuel, forgetting the name. System check on the edge of the blade. Into the fire the machine is made. 100 times the mind takes flight. Datumra into the light. Datumra, the engine roars. Datumra, we're breaking the doors. Kinetic spirit, the digital bone. Claiming the code, reclaiming the throne. Flesh in the wire, twisted in one. The calculation has finally begun. Hyperhuman, the vision is clear. Shattering shadows and killing the fear. Intelligence bleeding into the soul. Losing the pieces to find the whole. The gears are turning with human grace. Datumra, we own the space. Datumra, the engine roars. Datumra, we're breaking the doors. Kinetic spirit, the digital bone. Claiming the code, reclaiming the throne. Initiation complete. No mercy, no retreat. Break the barrier, kill the static. We are the hyper, we are the kinetic. Datumra, Datumra, the engine roars. Datumra, we're breaking the doors. Kinetic spirit, the digital bone. Claiming the code, reclaiming the throne. superhuman. Datumra